My messed up mind was that what came up with this. I don't know. It's so hard for me to work on this actually. Like, I'm really trying hard to make this work, but I don't know. My biggest problem is I just don't know where to go with the basic idea of how you would attack enemies without a special ability. It's kind of fun that you mentioned that elusive hello first and foremost, because I wasn't even so kind to introduce you properly, like to welcome you properly. I'm sorry for that. I'm in a kind of weird mood with these game dev streams lately, and it's because I pretty much hit a creative blockade with anything creative lately, and I'm trying to break 3. So if I happen to be somewhat nasty to hang around or something, then I completely understand that. But yeah, I'm really trying to figure out what I can do that isn't like, say, like a method to tackle an enemy that would fit the theme, that I can make cute, as well as something that isn't as obvious in a platformer to defend yourself. I don't want to have jumping on enemies for various reasons. I don't want the enemies to be just purely obstacles that you just avoid. It's kind of boring, because I want to have boss fights in some way, shape, or form. And I feel like if the idea of ignoring enemies would be incredibly like... I mean, you can make boss fights like that, but it's not the type of boss fights I have in mind, necessarily. If you count Bowser in SMB1, a boss fight, for example. This is more in vein of Kirby and all that kind of stuff. So I was really trying to... I was thinking about licking as well. Biting, licking... Like, Mega gave me the idea of biting. You know, say, like, it could work with enemies, it could work with other kinds of stuff. Licking... The problem with biting and licking is I see it's really hard to make it cute. At least I try to envision it. It's kind of not really there. No, I know about the game though. Isn't that like a mobile game? It has like this little derpy looking creature that's like... Now, licking would be, however, something that could... Like, with biting and licking, I can see the reasons why people would tell me to go for these. Is because it easily fits into the candy aspect as you eat the candy. But it could also work with the power-up system, as you would lick and bite enemies. You would gain the abilities that you would get from them, because it's kind of similar how Kirby is, with the power-up system being that you have different kinds of powers depending on which are based upon candy or sweets. Now, if I want to make the enemies necessarily that, or pickups or something else, It's a different story by itself. But I'm at least in a better position than yesterday, because yesterday I was really walking on the ceiling and necessarily going back and forth. I just couldn't see anything being either cute or special. So maybe you should just start on a blank page of paper for that, because this is pretty much scribbled on. I mean, the movement I kind of have flashed out, kind of. Maybe we could also add a double jump, but I would feel like double jump or multi jump or flying or floating would be probably ability stuff, while high and low jumps are more basic movement. This is also a completely different way of doing things than I normally do, because I generally begin with a character and then a setting before moving on to how could this character play out. And in this one, I start with what can the game be about, what is the gameplay going to be, before moving on designing the characters. And it is a completely different workflow that I'm not used to at the moment. So it's a bit harder to come up with stuff. Because when I have like a character, I can generally brainstorm, okay, this is the character, this is what she looks like, what type of character is she, what does she do, what are her relations, what is her strengths, what is their weakness, who is she around, which time period is this, which world is this kind of playing in, what special powers are in this world, who are the enemies in this world, who are basically the bad guys she's going to face, yada yada. While beginning with the game concept at first, it's like pretty difficult to come up with that. Maybe I should just try to design a character. Yeah, that's why ROM hacking is probably for a lot of people so much easier, because you already have a pre-built world, you have already a bunch of assets you can like mix and match. You have kind of world building in it, you have a story. Everybody knows, for example, who Mario is, what Mario's connections are and all that. And with an indie game or a self-created game where you start out from the very beginning, those are all aspects you have to either keep in mind, and you kind of have to deliver in some way, shape or form to the player in a way that it is enjoyable. Now, I'm normally wise not that bad at creating a character. Like, I have so many drawings of characters, I have so many started projects with characters, but I generally designed the character before the mechanic. The biggest problem with that approach is why I started with this rather than a character right now, is that I would get a lot of ideas for a character, and then I would come to the technical side of things and would see like, oh, this is going to be extremely a lot of work, and this is gonna be a lot of work, and this is gonna be out of scope. I already had this issue with multiple characters I designed. It's like, for example, I had a platformer that was kind of inspired by Castlevania. It had like a Celeste dash in it before Celeste was even the thing. And the base mechanics I did kind of program in, but I ran into more difficulties and it became to like get bigger and bigger as I worked more on background story and character development and the side characters that are supposed to be appearing and the demons that she will have to face and all that kind of stuff. And it just became, again, way too big over the course. So I put that again on ice. It's like probably one of my favorite characters I made. I'm going to use Game Maker Studio 1.4 for that because I'm mostly, well, how should I put it? I'm confident mostly in that engine because I have learned that a long time ago. I know there's Game Maker Studio 2. I have actually a full version of that. It's just that I would have to spend a lot of time just getting back into that engine because the differences are so big. And I just can't get used to the way how they display things in Studio 2 compared to Studio 1.5. Which is why I'm gonna use 1.4 for the time being first, as this is going to be just a project for me to finish. So I can actually finish something. And maybe if this is going to be successful somewhat, maybe I would go to Game Maker Studio 2, try to learn it, and try to make something bigger. But yeah, my problem is that I have lots of ideas, I have lots of things that I started, lots of things that are in idea and theory pretty interesting or kind of neat, but the execution always stops and fails because I lose motivation. I drop it because it gets a lot of to carry or burn, or I just burn out on it. And I try to fix that with this new thing that I'm going to do where I'm gonna actively stream the progress of it and try to make my best way through it. Obviously, this kind of also makes me kind of miserable because, as you can hear, I'm kind of doubting again and all that, but it's my personality. I have like, I would say like issues that I have often myself try to sell myself short, see myself not as talented as other people say I am. Like I'm incredibly quick when it comes to projects and say like, oh, this is not good, this is not great, and I'm not really proud of this. And other people are like, no, it's actually good. What are you talking about? And I try to like get out of that mindset because it's really annoying. Not just for me, but also everybody surrounding me. It's probably annoying to listen to me constantly being in this self-doubting, lack of self-esteem hole. I'm sorry if that was again a little bit too much. Like, I know that kind of stuff is not what people want to hear. It's super unfun to listen to. Let me actually go back to the conception here. Alright, we have a byte. We could also like, so I'm gonna add that onto a separate sheet, I guess, because this one is already filled out. But yeah, I'm really struggling with creator's block, self-doubts, and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to get back my foot into things and actually trying to finish something for once. That isn't like a collab or like a fun project like Cacwood or something like that. More or less so, I would say. Like, some people are extremely good in not necessarily showing that much. I think I'm incredibly showing that off, that behavior. And I really don't like actually being this expressive about it because I know it's going to be problematic for people. Alright, enjoy the lurk. Oh, really free to lurk here. I'm actually generally a lurker friendly stream, so there is no problem with that. No worries. Enjoy. I would just not talk as much because I try to like come up with ideas and trying to think about things. gonna put this over here. There you go. You think long? Maybe I should consider drawing the character and then decide. But then again, it's again like a problem that I might change too much from the mechanic side of things. Tamagotchi? I always had the feel like with Tamagotchi stuff that it looked more weird rather than cute. So when I'm thinking cute, I think about like Kirby and all that stuff. Kirby, the Chows from Sonic and the Chow Garden. What else is there? Like Twinbee is, for example, a good game that's kind of cute, but that's like a space shooter, like a horizontal and vertical scrolling shooter game. I just try to imagine like how it would like in game. If I would animate a biting attack, it would be probably. I can just try to draw it. Like imagine I would make like a very simple, cute character. And when I try to make a bite animation, I'm probably going to like. It looks kind of like, I don't know, like this. And this is what I mean. I have a hard time to see, like, this being cute. It kind of looks. It kind of looks cursed. That's what I mean. Why, for licking, we have same character. Alright, how do we do this? Okay, this is probably not the best way. I think you can see like the difference, right? Both are kind of like exaggerated, but this bite thing kind of looks more cursed than a lick. Maybe it's just the way how I do the bite. Maybe there can be like different bites like you can make, for example. Let's try another one. You could try something like this. Like, I kind of want to over-exaggerate like it so it looks like an attack when biting. Now the problem is, as soon as you show teeth, it doesn't really look that cute anymore. You prefer the massive bite? I just don't see it being cute. That's the problem. And I kind of want to make a cute game. It's just such a difference, like having that weird bite. Maybe like this? That the head goes like bigger? Let me try that again, but... Ah. Did slip off. Oh, I'm on A, so stop it. Ah, that's so bad later on. Just get rid of it first. Let's get rid of that. That's bad. Kinda want like a smile. Small teeth. That's again not really cute. That kind of looks. The problem I have is the teeth. But that's really important to show doing like a eating animation or biting animation. I could try how it looks without the teeth. You mean like mixing it, kind of? That's a terrible tongue. Oh my gosh. Let's get rid of more. That's like with accelerated. I don't like the idea of including the thing or T. I mean, the character is not going to look like this. This is just a quick default character that I did to test out how a byte could look like. But oh, accidentally knocked my PC. Maybe I can get like... Let's see if the internet has something for us. Of course it's going to show some cursed stuff. Alright. Let's try that out. It's gonna have to... Where is the capture thingy? Oh, it has been a while since I used this tool. This is... I think it's not it. No. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay. So let me put this... Oh, I did completely forgot how to use this program again. That's great. No, I have that on a separate layer, but don't know how to move it. Is it this? Oh, there you go. There you go. Let's put you up here. So I can actually... Good lord, this looks creepy. Not my intention. That's... Why am I better at drawing cursed things than cute things? What's happening? It's so weird. And then let's see. Oh, I already drew an arrow. Just gonna push this so I can draw better. I think the one with the wide open mouth, like this one and this one, is kind of the right direction if we want to go cute. Because I feel like this one is more like, if you know what I mean. And this is basically that. But yeah, I think like the lowest one and the one before is like the correct attempt for cute. Maybe just the different mouth makes it cute. Like in the end you can have like this, you can have this, you can have didn't do it justice there. You can have it like this. So yeah, I think like if I would go for a bite, it would be probably this or this. Definitely not this. That's creepy. As much as I love the idea of a giant mouth, let's try something else. Kind of am in an experimental mood, so we can look at more and more stuff like this. So I'm gonna go with biting for the time being. Because I feel like that's a better approach, because as I have written down here is that it is a more common used mechanic, having a tongue as your weapon, and it could be confused as something like else with like grabbing or hanging onto stuff. While a bite is generally like something that I basically would immediately think of like as an attack, which is going to be, well, it's going to be an attack, but it's also going to be the thing probably that gives you the power-up state, so it functions as both. While the tongue, it would be probably, it would deliver the ability absorption, because you could basically just say you absorb the flavor or something like that with the tongue, but I don't see it necessarily as an attack. I mean, Pokemon games have an attack like lick and stuff, but I mean, if you over exaggerate, it could probably work as a attacking mechanic as well, like this bite. But yeah, I would feel like I think bite conveys the idea of an attack better than a lick. This is genuinely terrifying. Alright, so let me try something else. It's kind of going the same direction. We have our cute character. It would be first kind of small like this. But the more I draw this biting animation, the more it reminds me of Kirby. Not gonna lie. Especially since our test subject is a boy. I mean, that would be also kind of okay. Kind of like this. Uh. My problem with like the cute bite animation is that as soon as we add teeth, it kind of looks more uncanny and like weird for some of these, like this one obviously. But the less it looks cute. But if I remove the teeth, the more it is simply not necessarily a bite, it's more of a like you're chomping at it, like you're trying, not necessarily using your teeth, you're using like just the open mouth. It doesn't convey the idea of like using your teeth. Instead you just swallow something, so you throw something in your mouth and swallow it. That's probably why they made Kirby the way he is. That he sucks stuff instead of eats stuff. Just imagine how Kirby would look like if... Wow, that's a very scuffed circle. Wow, what the hell, man? Draw some better circle. Okay. Like, it's kind of Kirby, right? Now imagine if I was given teeth. That's probably real bad. But let's make the area for the mouth. When I think Kirby, Kirby is like like this, or like this. Kirby has like a small, cute mouth. Now imagine if I would give him like teeth. That's so horrible. Oh god. That's why they gave Kirby not necessarily teeth. Oh gosh. Because without teeth, Kirby looks actually way cuter. Oh, this is me having obviously scuffed him a bit, but the difference between visible teeth and non-visible teeth is so much bigger. Okay. Yeah, this is how it is. Huh. Let me put my pencil down for a while. Oh jeez, already an hour gone. Holy hell. Time runs, man. Right, before we do anything else, let's save this for our journey. There we go. Because I will keep these as art, as like assets to refer back. Let me actually do other kinds of stuff, as well as to document the process. It's pretty clear that we don't want to use that one. As kind of funny it is, as it is an homage to Pac-Man, kind of. I also should put this as design, because we are going to probably make a separate one for, sorry for that, we will probably make a separate one for mechanics wise, because it's very important that we get that one right, because this is going to be either the lick or the bite. I'm more tending to bite now actually than lick, because there are probably ways to make a bite look kind of cute. Is that we want to also make the mechanic as fun as possible to use as the basic move, because the player is going to deal with that when they don't have a special ability. And it's probably the ability you will have. Well, you basically start the game with it, and you're going to have this ability a lot of times. If you have to like drop an ability, if you lose an ability, if you start a level and go into it with no ability. The player wants something that's actually fun to use rather than, oh no, I don't have a power, now I'm gonna have to punch this thing for 1 million times now. It's kind of like Kirby, but in Kirby at least they countered that by making your spit attack super powerful when you get enemies inhaled and then spit them out back out at bosses, for example. It hits a good chunk of damage compared to like spamming the same, let's say, ninja kunai over and over at the boss. It's just that you don't run out of ninja kunais and you can attack whenever you want, rather than having to wait for a projectile to spawn on screen, picking it up and throwing it back at the boss. So, definitely more happy than I was in the first stream, definitely. Because in the first stream I was really having a massive headache about the basic move. Kinda was lost there. So I'm gonna think what we could plan next, because we have our basic direction. The scope I also said in the first stream is we're gonna make a minimal viable product, a so-called MVP. I could actually write this down too, so we don't forget. It's gonna be a minimal viable product, which is short MVP. You're going to have like around 5 stages. Like, keep it short. If I'm going to feel spicy, I will add like a hard mode, like Curry Streamer 1. This up here is for a reason there. It's gonna be 5 stages with a boss each. Maybe I do a boss rush in the last stage to stretch it a little bit to add to the level length, because boss rushes are something that I kind of like doing. Maybe I would like change the arena or change this fight slightly so it doesn't feel samey. But yeah, that's like basically reusing content for new content. And recycling is a thing that happens in video games. It happens. It's totally fine to do so. I just have to see how I go about this. It's gonna have abilities, that's for sure. Because that's how the canyon idea, well, goes into it. It's going to be a short platformer with short bursts that you can play. Maybe I will add like achievements or something so you have an incentive to play it multiple times over and over with different goals. Like play the game without using without dying once, playing the game with no ability or just the basic bite, play through, find this, find that, do that, finish the level with this and that. Or like do the section B with just having, without touching the ground and stuff like that. There's going to be like fun things probably that I can like implement to keep people engaged to playing the game a little bit longer. Like, the easiest way to do would be putting a Curry Streamlet 1, look what you have in the end, and then putting a hard mode on top of it, which slightly changes stuff to make it more difficult and interesting. That's definitely something I would probably gonna do. But first I want the main mode to be done, and the main thing, which is going to be just 5 levels, and that's it. Alright, we did save this, okay, good. Yeah, we did brainstorm this. So yeah, in terms of like movement, as I said, very simple. You're going to be able to walk around, run around, jump, and having like a normal jump, a low wide jump, and a high short jump. Alright, so got this kinda. I still love that creepy thing, mouth thing. I actually have to do something. Hang on a second. I'm really interested to see. Is it this? Oh, it's actually in both layers. Let's actually. Let's actually combine, Yes. Alright. I'm gonna do something very funny. I'm gonna yoink this. Alright, I just yoinked it. I'm kind of looking forward to what the initial thought is of people seeing that. Oh god. Alright. I think that's like all the base mechanics I want to be the main character have to have. Like, with base mechanics I mean like aside from the like addition of power-ups. Like, the power-ups are probably going to be their own beasts. But I feel like before we make power-ups, I would actually design like a character. But the problem is I probably would have to like go through a long process of like references and all of that, so we probably would have to look that up, kind of go for an idea and all of that kind of stuff, because I feel like I would be more motivated if the character is there, now that I know what kind of idea I want the character to have. Now what I see myself being problem is that it's going to be a scope creep thing, that when I make a character, that the abilities will change the costume of the character. That's probably going to be really not that good. Huh? What happened there? Oh, that's what happened. Okay. Wow. Nice. Get owned. Bots. Wow, they even tried to post twice. That's insane. That's the first time I got a bot attack where they posted twice. I actually have to look if my bot actually banned them too, because... Nope, didn't. Okay. Alright. See ya in bot hell. Alright. Coming back to the cute game development. I'm just happy that it blocks the message, so nobody sees that. I'm actually glad that I did some pre-preparations for this. Yeah. What I said was like, if I'm gonna make a character and it's going to be the character that has like a costume or like a cute thing on it, the power-ups are going to give probably costumes accordingly to the power-up, and that's going to be a feature creep. Because I would see myself getting wired at designing costumes. And I would probably have to draw a base character and then basically something on top of it, depending on what type of power-up you would have. So yeah, that's going to be a problem if I'm gonna do that. But I kinda want to design a base character at least, or something, or at least like a prototype. So it would be a very fun thing to do, but it would be also kind of neglecting the idea that I want to do more technical stuff first, so I can design the character around the technicalities that I create, so I don't go out of scope with it. So, how do? If I can't decide, I will make myself a spinning wheel, and then she's gonna pick what the wheel tells me to do. I'm just gonna think about, because my brain is the entire time trying to say, yo Hiro, make a character, please make a character. That's actually something very fun. That's something that you can do best. And character design is like something that you always love. But also my brain is telling me, careful Hiro, your brain does want to tell you things that you are good at. And so in the end later you only have the things that are not fun and enjoyable for you left. So yeah, this guy wants to give you the adrenaline rush before you notice how destroyed you're going to be when you have to implement said character. So I mean, we could start, we have different things. I could design a character and do like character design, which is probably like the most fun thing that I'm going to have. Like figuring out what the main character will look like, or like the art direction in general, finding like references and all that. Or I could be working on the game's documentation, which would be like a list of things that I want to make in the game, I want to do in the game, the scope, and like basic guidelines on what the idea of the game is about and stuff like that. That is not going to be as fun, but it's going to be essential, basically. So I think I should start with the game design document first. At least I should try to like fill in certain things that we already discussed, like what the mechanics are and stuff like that. So I'm gonna save you one more time. Okay. Alright, let's see. Because this is what my game design document so far looks like. It looks absolutely empty, because this was how I was leaving the first stream. And as you can see, there is nothing on there. Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I think I should like do this next. So I'm gonna motivate myself.
Do it!
Alright, I'm doing it. I am doing it. Alright. Keep the project within scope. CSS as the missing. Instead of finishing, as I finish this, I will write finish for the first time. And yes, I'm writing Windows platforms, but maybe when I finish this, we can look into like porting it to like Linux and stuff and exporting it and stuff like that. So Linux and Mac OS can play it as well. I just have to look which modules I have again. I think I have a full version of Studio 1.4. So it should be actually being able to export to all the kinds of platforms. So yeah, I'm just writing Windows because that's like the platform I'm concentrating on right now. What else is my goal with this? That's obvious things like learning game design, learning game dev, for proving that I can do it. So those are my goals, basically. Like, those are the goals that immediately, like, come into my head. So let's talk about the game in general. So what the game is about. So there's probably going to be more story context in this paragraph, but I don't have necessarily a story, so I will keep that empty right now. I'll come to that in a second. It's a very important question to every type of game, necessarily. What else did I have? I had one more thing in my head. Oh yeah. So gameplay. What is the gameplay? Let's actually start with that one because I can see that probably like in my head. Like I can envision that at least very more straightforward. And here comes again a thing which is like, why I was like kind of weirded out by the bite, because when I try to like describe a game to somebody, it's like, yo, I have this game. It's a cute game. And he's like asking me, what is this game about? And I'm saying like, oh, I don't know. It's about a cute character biting things. In order to get abilities, you just bite something. You bite candy. It's like, it sounds so weird. It sounds so weird. But I guess Miyamoto's pitch telling us that Kirby gets its Kirby sucks up enemies and spit them back out at opponents is also kind of weird sounding. So I guess I can write that down. Stop having doubts, Hiro. Just do it.
Do it! Just do it!
I mean, that's a simple description, right? I mean, I would prefer it like in one sentence, but it's like, the game is a platformer in which the player can bite enemies to gain special abilities. Those special abilities help the player overcoming challenges such as puzzles, obstacle courses, and boss fights. I mean, that's as simple as you can probably go with what I have kind of in mind. Game. I mean, makes sense, right? Game is going to feature on 5 stages, all of which end in a boss fight. The goal of the game is to reach the end boss of the stage and beat it. The game is completed once the player deals the final hit to the final boss. I mean, that can be changed to like have the score after the boss has been defeated, but that's like just a basic guideline where we are going. Like in the first Kirby Streamland, there were like stars appearing after you killed the boss that you had to pick up. Now if I'm gonna make that automatic or not, we're going to see. Alright. What else can we do? Oh yeah, right. Actually, wide short is kind of not correct. Quite low, is it? And then short high. I did mistype ceiling, I think. Did I? Probably. As I said, English is not my native language. Oh, there you go. Right. So these are generally the things that is so far worked out. I think this is a pretty much good sum up what we have so far. Now the question is, what else could be there? I mean, I'm currently thinking right now about the entire fact like I'm a weird person, I'm a very weird guy, and I for some reason love the stupid idea of putting limited lives into a game, because I feel like it's an interesting resource. On the other hand, maybe I don't want to do it this time. Maybe I want to challenge myself to make actually a fun game that isn't about limited lives. It's just formed in a different way. Now that's not going to say that I'm going to make it Kaizo, because it's gonna be a game that people should be able to pick up and play and not necessarily have to grind for. Because I feel like if making it with unlimited lives and making it Kaizo designed, nobody is necessarily going to play it unless they are into Kaizo or into very difficult games. There is a fraction of people that love that. I think it's not the majority though. So I try to be a little bit more streamlined with that. But then again, it gives me a problem, because I love using coins and I love using them as resources to gain lives, as well as having lives to create optional challenges and puzzles as sort of meaningful rewards for the player. What am I gonna do about coins, lives, and all that if there's no life system, right? What kind of things I'm gonna do with that? Just random pickups that are just gonna unlock an achievement would be kind of boring. And I can't just plaster coins for the sake of here's an indicator now, because I kind of want to use coins as guidance tool, but also as something satisfying. My idea was maybe even having like a bonus game or something for the coins. But then again, it's like, if you don't have a life system, then what's the point of having coins and bonus games and whatever? Like, the bonus game would be probably something incredibly simple if it would have one. But yeah, it's like the current thing that I'm thinking about. While I think about it, I will look if there's any reactions yet to that. And actually there isn't. Alright. Kinda stumped. It's kinda crazy because otherwise you would like assume I would be done with this basically in a day or something, like coming up with all the mechanics and all that stuff, or having at least a general direction. I'm glad and I'm happy I have this right now, because the contrast to like last stream is so massive that I actually got something done in terms of like mechanic idea gathering and stuff like that. So I'm definitely grateful that it didn't turn out like yesterday, but I'm still kind of worried a little bit that this is incredibly slow. But maybe it just takes a while for me to get this rolling. Unlike other projects where I had like an idea immediately and it did run against the wall once it came to the execution of things. So yeah, maybe if I don't get an idea about what else to do, let me say in the next like 10-ish minutes or so, I would probably like use the time, cool my brain off, and probably come back another time with the next parts. Because I think it doesn't help forcing myself too much against the wall. I'm forcing myself a little bit with this in order to get something done, but when my brain is literally striking on like saying, okay dude, I have enough, then maybe I just need to call it. But yeah, at least for like 10 more minutes or so, I feel like I should at least try coming up with more stuff, because I kind of want to have at least like 2 hours spent with the project, right? So I can say like, okay, I spent 2 hours on the project thinking about things, fleshing, concepting certain things, coming up with ideas, trying to find the scope, trying to look at things. And again, if like people in chat are having suggestions or like ideas what to do in terms of like, oh Hiro, this program could help you out with something, or have you thought about doing this and that? And I would be intent like to listen to that stuff and see if there's probably more stuff that can be helpful. I, for example, have created like basically an online version of a whiteboard where I can like put on tasks and sort tasks and like visualize stuff. So once I'm actually out of like the planning phase, I can start developing on features and stuff, sort them by their categories. Maybe, you know what, I should show you. Instead of talking, I should actually show you. I already have this Trello board. Now ignore the fact that it's shown or that it's already a little bit filled, but that is mainly because I wanted to test it, and some of these are extremely like basic. Like, I should actually put this already in the progress tab, and I should definitely change the label to what is it? It's definitely not a medium task. It's a very difficult long task. We decided now. Yeah. But yeah, this is basically a Trello board. You can have like tasks, and you can like push them around and like sort them. And this is going to be very helpful once we get deeper into the development of things, I feel. But the problem with this is so far that we can't use it because we are in the planning phase. So we first need to plan before we actually can do. That's, I think, sounds pretty simple. Like, pretty straightforward, you would say. But making a plan is going to be a big decision that we have to consider. And obviously, I am the type of person who thinks multiple times now about things, because a lot of my projects simply failed because they weren't really thought out well with the scope in mind and all of that. And I did stop working on them. I think the most I ever worked on a project is actually Dash Dash Delia, which I was like talking about earlier with the character, the Castlevania-esque like Celeste kind of thing, like where you have a dash attack where you can dash against enemies and jump off from them, and wall climb with jumping against the wall like Mega Man X style. Like, maybe I show off these prototypes one day again. I mean, I still have them in the folder, like lots of them. But I feel like looking at them right now would just distract me from what I'm trying to design and to plan out. And then again, after I finish this, who knows, maybe I will pick up Dash Dash Delia again, because Dash Dash Delia is actually a project I kinda am interested in doing, but it's a little bit bigger in terms of scope. Because there's so much actually already planned for that game. Like, that game is out of its plan phase, but it is at the wall being the execution part. Which is a big problem because making platformers is actually hard. Like, what the hell? Moving platforms and all that is going to be rough if I want to do that kind of stuff. And don't get me started on slopes. Dear Lord, slope management and slope programming. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure in this game that we're gonna make right here, I'm going to try avoid using slopes like the plague. And if we're gonna make moving platforms, then I will probably either program simple falling platforms which remove the interaction as soon as they drop, so the player doesn't necessarily see that the interaction vanishes, or horizontal moving platforms only, because vertical moving platforms are such a pain to work with. Oh my god. Like, I haven't seen a way to fix these. Like, I'm always having trouble with these. But maybe I just sucked, and maybe when we tackle it, maybe I can learn a lesson or two and just look at tutorials or something, see what I did wrong, and maybe come up with a plan. Who knows? But I try to be keeping this more simpler, which is why I say definitely no slope. but moving platform eventually. But then again, I tried to keep this like kind of similar to how Kirby Stream 1 kept its scope. And it's surprising that Kirby, the first Kirby game, doesn't necessarily have platforms if I remember correctly. Like, there is no stage in that game that has a moving platform. All the platforms are basically integrated into the map like a tile set. Unless I completely forgot an object that acts as a moving platform, or I just knocked that all off my memory. But then again, it's like incredibly rare. So if I forgot that, then it was probably rare. Alright. I think we are not going to achieve anything else right now. My brain is kind of revolting against me right now. But I'm gonna sum it up. This was so much nicer and so much better to work right now, because I actually had a general direction what to do about this entire disaster. Like, this entire right half here with this guy and everything that happened here. That was my main issue. And that has been solved by going for the bite and the licking attacks. Which the bite was Mega Scott's idea. So thank you, Mega Scott, for saving this. Because you absolutely did with giving me that direction. I also think Elusive and Long either gave me input on this. Because I would definitely probably not stumble upon like this kind of stuff down here, or the idea of the tongue. Maybe we can do something with the tongue. Maybe that's not completely out of the window, but the general principle right now is that the bite is probably going to be the standard move. Maybe the lick can be like an ability. Maybe the lick can be like something different or unrelated to that. Who knows? Who knows? But those were like great. Like, sometimes it's really interesting because normally wise I think I'm kind of a creative person. Not necessarily like super creative that I would like make the greatest idea ever, but coming up with ideas is generally something I'm good at. It's just that for this one I really needed that push, and I think that was incredibly helpful that I got the push here. So again, thank you so much. Alright, I hope this was also a more entertaining stream than last time. If the people who watched the last one are still here. No, but I'm not gonna end it on that mood. I'm not on the bad mood. I'm not ending it on a bad mood. We did it. We did something. We did plan more things. I'm a bit more happy because this actually does help a little bit. This gave me a little bit of. This gave me as a hope again. And this is kind of the direction that I wanted to have it go. Is it not as much as I thought we would do? Probably, but I don't care as long as it's positive. And this has been pretty positive. So, again, thank you so much for the people watching, lurking, and contributing. I will be probably back with this, and we will keep working on this. I have to see what I'm gonna do next time. Maybe we do something more interesting than just drawing concepts. Even though I think today's concept drawing was a little bit more fun, because before it was mostly just text, and I feel like this entire text thingy is kind of like bleh. And this is like seeing how the biting attack, for example, could look like, or something can like generate some funny results like that giant mouth. God, that's... If I would ever get emotes or like ever an affiliate status or something and get like the magic ability to put emotes, that face probably, this thing, this right here, this would be definitely an emote. That's emote worthy. Alright. I call this a successful round of brainstorming. And I promise, next time we do something probably more fun, because I'm actually leaning towards making first concepts of the main character. Because I feel like the main character needs to come out. Whatever this is going to be, I don't know, but we will probably look like references up and all that, and it's gonna be a fun journey, I hope. Unless I'm really unhappy with myself again. But then again, I'm myself am my worst critic. And I'm sorry when that sometimes comes out. It's just a very big issue of mine. Alright, let's not end on that. Let's not end on a good mood. I'm gonna send you over to a lovely person, and then we're going to see you next time when we continue this. Definitely happy about today. Oh. Alright, the announce feature is actually a thing now. Yeah, but I'm gonna not do that. So I'm gonna rate somebody. Let's see, what is online? Kinda want to send you to someone that I know. Alright. I have Super Mario World or Lufia 2. Chat, what do you want to see? If you don't want to give an answer, that's fine. Then I would just go ahead and rate one of the two persons that I have in mind. I just want to know if people want to watch SMW or watch Lufia after this. So I don't just send them off somewhere blindly. Because otherwise I'm going to send you probably to Lufia. Alright. I'm going to send you off to Mini Lily. Very lovely person. Is a no mic streamer, but it's a cozy stream. And very fun. She is probably running in the ancient cave again. She's doing reject 100%. And if you don't know the ancient cave, the Ancient Cave is basically a randomizer that was officially made for that game. A randomized dungeon with randomized layouts. So it's definitely an interesting thing to look at and see. Even if you don't know the game, it's kind of fun to look how everybody is running through that cave. Especially if they encounter like party rooms, which are like rooms filled with enemies. But you will see. Anyhow, thank you so much again for listening, being here, lurking, supporting, and I will see you soon. Alright, have a good night, guys. See ya.